You can't just dive into this. It's a scary game out here. All right, so let's do this on 3, 2, 1. The smell of coffee is in the air, motherfuckers. So 3, 2, 1. The smell of coffee is in the air. It must be time for another episode of The Art of Struggle. Welcome to another episode of my podcast called The Art of Struggle. You can hear me write about art, video games, movies, pop culture, CGI, the industry, and much, much more. My name is Fatai, and I'll be your guide as we explore the world of CG, pop culture, and the people who make it all possible. I got my homie Andy here with me, and he's going to talk to you guys about some art and some of his guiding principles to creating some of the most awesome illustrations that I have seen this side of Instagram. Let's do it. So Andy, what do you have for us today?
Well, I was asked to talk at a college, right? And the whole time I just kind of I didn't know what I was going to talk about. I kind of man, what can I say to them? I mean, I guess I came to look if I was a student, what would I want to hear? You know, what did they not tell me when I was in school?
Okay.
And I just came up with these guides that I've kind of just been doing since college.
Okay. And
I wrote them down, and I thought, man, you know what? If they do them even at a low level, they're gonna land somewhere. You know, it probably won't be where they want, but if they just keep these in mind, I think they'll be okay.
Okay. Yeah. That's what's up. All right, but before we dive into all of this, I just wanted to say congratulations on the baby. Appreciate that's crazy. Congratulations on that, man. That's crazy. He's got a brand new baby, so his time has been definitely super split, and you know it's always interesting. So I was just wondering, how do you handle all that? How are you handling the new addition to your life? You know, it's a bundle of blessings, and you've just got to be, you know, are you sleeping well? Are you sleeping? You know,
dude, it's been crazy.
Yeah,
it's been crazy. I mean, everyone told me how hard it was going to
be. Yeah. People try to tell you, but you don't want to listen. You're like, I got this. I can do this.
She's 2 months.
2 months.
It's not that hard, you know. You just have to, you know, balance certain things.
So did you already know how to change diapers, or was it something you had to learn?
No, I learned. Yeah. I think the hardest part would be the first 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. After that,
it's back to business.
It's back to business.
That's what's up. So wow, that's interesting. I know people have probably been wondering, or if you know Andy like I do, you know he's a hard-working person, so he's constantly drawing, constantly doing something. I can't wait to start seeing your babies and drawing and stuff like that, because that's a skill that I think you know JJ, right? He said he wishes he knew how to draw so well, because he would like to draw his kid and his family and stuff like that. It's something that he would want to do. Is that something that you've ever thought about wanting to do? Just drawing your family and stuff like that, or putting them in some of your cartoons or anything like that?
Kinda. Yeah. I'm really bad at drawing characters. I can't draw people, even cartoony wise. I can't do it. Their likeness is never there.
It's never there.
Yeah, but I do have a buddy who can do it, and he draws him and his daughter, let's say they go to the zoo.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So
stuff like
he'll
that.
draw that one illustration of them at the zoo, and then he'll put it in a book, so that when she's 18, there's a book.
That is dope. Why don't you do something maybe you write her a story every single birthday she has.
Nah,
that would be dope.
Mine is more if if she like drops like an ice cream or something, I'll kind of make a quick little sketch about it. I mean, there's one where she's crying and I can't get her to stop, so there's a sketch I have where she's like at her table when she's crying, and her crying becomes powerful where all the objects are lifting up. So
that's super dope. That's super baby.
I kind of just turn it into something.
That's dope. So you do drawings for her.
Kinda. Yeah. But I wish I can
crank those out.
I wish I can draw people like exactly like they look, caricature-wise, but I can't.
Okay. That's what's up. Well, that's me just prying into your personal life. We can dive back into the 5 guides of success and talk about that and how you're gonna, use that and how you've been using that. So, like, it came about through you going to this college, and you had to give a talk, and you were just thinking about these are all the things that I've been doing internally, but I've never vocalized externally. Exactly. And this is pretty much like the first iteration of that. And I'm pretty sure it's going to evolve over time, and you're going to embellish on it. But this is just like a first.
It got some good feedback, and I'm a huge fan of you and the Art of Struggle. And I thought, man, this would be the place to put
This would be the perfect outlet. All right, man, I appreciate you coming on the show. So let's dive into the 5 guides of success by Andy Estrada. All right, so I'm here with Andy Estrada, and we're talking about the 5 guides to success that he's just come out with, and it's just a set of principles that he internally uses to guide his art, but he's never really externally vocalized. And I think this is the iteration of it, externally vocalized, and he can definitely talk more about it. So what is stomach and hunger?
Stomach and hunger is pretty much a metaphor for like how much do you want it and how much can you tolerate.
Okay. Okay.
The stomach is like me as an artist. I've heard so many like critiques and just stuff that really bummed me out. Like I had teachers telling me, "Oh, there's not studios here. Oh, there's no work. Oh, your art is not where it needs to be." Or
so pretty much how much critique you can take. What are you willing to take to get to that next level, to get better?
It's more like, can you stomach it, and after hearing all that, do you still want to be an artist? Do you still want to go down this path or this career? Okay.
Yeah. That's what's up. So like here you have some bullet points. So like how you handle setbacks. Do you give up at the first sign of obstacles? Because you will constantly hear things like there's no jobs in the industry, your work isn't improving, like, so your stomach is your capacity to take all that stuff and still keep working.
Yeah, it's a silly metaphor, but as an artist, man, you're gonna hear like, you're gonna be more discouraged than you are, more than anything.
Yeah.
And
you gotta have nerves of steel. You gotta be tough. You gotta be tough. So what about hunger?
Hunger is more like how much do you want this? Like how much more do you want it than I do? Okay. Because you're basically competing for the same job that I want or that you want.
So it's your drive.
Yeah, the drive. It's like how persistent are you gonna be to get it? And there's
it's like they say that when you stop working, there's always somebody on the other side of the world working, practicing, and trying to get better. So are you gonna not get better? Are you gonna stop practicing? Like, because the extra hour that I get practicing might be the extra hour that you should have spent practicing to get to that next level. But I spent the extra hour, so I'll get the little, the XP bonus or whatever to get to that next level.
Yeah, you're either gonna be out there partying, or you're gonna be in here putting in the hours,
putting in the work. Yeah. And you can't hide putting in the work. It shows in your work. I think that's the thing about this industry is that the hours you put in show in the work. If you put in half-ass work, you're gonna get half-ass results. But if you dedicate yourself and you dive in and you put, your day in and day out, you're doing that, you're gonna get to the next level, right?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, like where I work, I'm on the hiring committee, and whenever we interview someone, the first thing I ask is, "Can I see your sketchbook?" And from that sketchbook, from the first 3 pages, I can tell.
Oh wow!
How much work?
From the first 3 pages, you can tell.
You can tell.
Oh wow!
I mean, you can tell with like how much time they put in, how much
That's crazy.
how much they draw, where they're at artistically and stuff like that.
Where they need to improve and stuff like that. Okay, that's interesting. So yeah, all you guys out there, learn that creative directors, you should keep a sketchbook. That's like a little tidbit right there. That's something that he's keep a sketchbook, because generally they will ask you, okay, what's your sketchbooks and what's your daily sketches looking like? How often are you sketching? So these little things help play into getting you better and getting you to that next level.
For sure. So it's basically like, can you take all that negativity, can you stomach it? And after hearing it and after, going through it, can you still have that hunger to continue and to grow?
Okay. Yeah. That's what's up. That's what's up. So the second one is what?
Creating with purpose.
Creating with purpose.
Yeah.
All right.
That one's kind of tricky, but it's mainly like having a purpose while creating means you kind of have to train your eye and your mind to be one step ahead of you. You can't get lost in your own awesomeness.
Okay.
And you kind
Don't
of
sniff your own farts.
yeah, basically.
No matter how good you are, there's always somebody that could, that could probably trounce you.
Yeah, I mean, the way I see it is if you're erasing a lot, then that just kind of means you don't understand what you're doing. Someone told me, stop sketching with a pencil and sketch with a pen, and you'll see where you're at. Because
the mistakes, you can't erase those mistakes.
Yeah, your hands start shaking, and you can't, so having a good understanding of what you're doing, if not practice, training your eye to see the good and the bad in your own creation, being able to compare yourself to your heroes and understanding what they're doing, what tools they're using.
So like looking at like Michelangelo or something like that, and looking at their paintings and like, because that's something they taught us to do in school a little bit, is like look at the masters, look at what techniques they're using, compared to yours. Are yours are your brush strokes as firm? Are you getting that? Do you understand what it's taking for their figures to look like? Are you looking at their composition? Are you studying it? Because you can try to recreate, but if you're not studying it to learn and get better, you're not really doing anything.
It's just being really honest with yourself.
Being honest, yeah. Like, okay, don't just sugarcoat yourself just because you think I made an awesome fairy. Because there's a lot of students out there that do not like to hear no. Like, and that's something I've heard a lot, is that people get so sensitive and attached to their work.
Yeah.
That they don't want to let it go. That they just think it's like the best thing in ever. And if you say one thing, okay, well, that anatomy could be wrong, and then they're just like, oh my God, I'm so offended. And it's like, you can't live like that as an artist. You got to be ready to throw away 1,000 drawings. You've got it. You can't be too attached.
Yeah, I mean, before I even put down the pencil to paper, you kind of have to ask yourself, okay, why am I creating this, and what do I want out of it?
Yeah,
you get me? If I'm just here to have fun and practice and learn, then you keep yourself from trying to be perfect and making it clean and making it look awesome, or okay, if I want like when you create something, you kind of have to know, what is it going to do for you? Is it, are you doing this for the likes? Are you doing this for money? Are you doing this for practice?
Does it need to be technically sound? Does it just need to be loose and free?
Yeah.
Because like, yeah, you're right. Knowing the outcome or what you're going for is super important. Yeah, that's interesting. So yeah, is this something that you establish before you do the drawing, or while you're doing the drawing, or is it something that you're always just taking with you wherever and whenever you're about to do anything?
Well, this is something I kind of made up in my head when I started Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I never wanted to start Instagram until I saw my buddies doing it, and I saw the hype they were getting.
Oh, okay.
So I said, okay, I'm gonna do my Instagram now.
Mm-hmm.
But why am I doing it, and what do I want out of it?
Okay.
You get me? So I was like, for sure, I want to see how my work holds up to the people I like.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I want to see if it's even like, I want to see if I'm good or not.
Okay.
You know, I want to see.
You wanted to test the waters.
Yeah, I want to see if I'll get any likes. I wanted to see if people would like it.
Mm-hmm.
And two, would it open doors?
Okay.
Would jobs come in? Would it help my career as far as, you know, freelance here and there?
Mm-hmm.
So before even starting the account, I went through all these accounts. Like okay, so this guy is doing this, and this guy is drawing this. So this guy has this many followers, but he's only posting this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, like Jake Parker, he's the one who started Inktober.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you know, but you know his profile is mainly like he has this unique style with robots,
mm-hmm.
you know, and then you have someone else like what's his name? Melma Dukes, where he posts just a bunch of like beautiful girls.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of going from page to page and seeing what they're doing, and then asking yourself, well, what are people not doing? You know, because
finding the hole in the market.
Yeah,
filling that.
Yeah, because everyone's posting awesome layouts and awesome characters, fully rendered, fully awesome, and it's kind of like
saturated.
It's been there and done that, you know. Even if you're really good
mm-hmm.
and you do an awesome
it's
drawing,
hard to penetrate that market.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, there's dozens and dozens of people who can draw better than me, ink better than me, color better than me, and they're posting, but they're not getting nowhere near the likes they want, you know,
because they didn't find the hole that was in the market.
Yeah. So I mean, what I came up with was I wanted the people to relate to my drawing
mm-hmm.
in some kind of like a personal way
mm-hmm.
before they even considered how cool the drawing was.
That's dope.
Yeah, I mean, so I would do like little things where like, oh, I'm late to work, or oh, I hate
things
Mondays.
that they can relate to.
Yeah.
Relatable situations in drawings.
Yeah.
Which made people automatically, okay, I hate Mondays too.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know, like I hate being late to work, and you know, that's dope.
Yeah.
You took a human angle.
Yeah, exactly. And I wrapped it with something cute,
mm-hmm.
like a cat or a mouse.
Like a cat.
Yeah, because that's the second thing they see. The first thing they see is the story. So each one of my drawings, I wanted to have a story, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, like we said, late for work,
mm-hmm.
or it's lunchtime or something like that, or whatever it is I was feeling at that moment. And then I would draw it in one little story, and I would wrap it in a cute cartoony way,
mm-hmm.
and I would post it. And I think people are seeing the story first, the drawing second, you know.
And they're already attaching themselves emotionally to it.
Yeah.
So they're gonna like the drawing if it's technically or well done.
Yeah.
That's dope. Man, that's good stuff right there. All right, so after creating with purpose, the next of the 5 guidelines to success is mentorship. So this is an interesting topic because like the other day I was watching this video, I think it was Chameleonaire, he was like this old rapper, and he was saying that mentorship should be more like a friendship, because if you think about it, a mentorship is like a relationship where you're asking this person to take, like it could be somebody random, but you're asking them to take you under your wing, to take time out of their busy schedule to kind of look after you, or like, you know, give you all these little things that you don't have yet. So you have to treat it more like a friendship. And if you do it like that, then you'll have more, much more fruitful mentorships, and it'll evolve into that, rather than just like asking like random people, hey, you know, mentor me, because that they're taking time out of it, you know, become their friends and see, you know, how it is that you can, you know, kind of get there. So this is going to be an interesting topic. So I wanted to just kind of get your take on it.
I mean, this is something I kind of been doing my whole life without even kind of realizing.
Okay.
You know, but when I got to school, you know, within like, I met one teacher, and I saw where he was at, and he told me the things he had done, and I was like, that's where I want to be, and that's if I can get there, that's success for me, you know, like that makes it all worth it. So but what I hated was that he was treating all the students as equals, and he was critiquing each one. I guess he was sugarcoating it, and it was kind of bothering me. And after class, I took him outside, and I was like, hey, I see the way you're treating people, and I kind of want your honest opinion. And I pulled out my sketchbook, and I was like, where am I at? And he opened it to the first page, and then he closed it, and he's like, I've seen enough within the first page. And I was like, all right, well, so that's where the stomach comes in, you know, like that was a heavy blow. And I was like, but you know, I channeled that into getting better. So I told him, well, what's up? And he was like, well, first it's anime. He had a thing against anime for some reason, but that's all that's what I grew up on. And he said, he gave me 3 artist names. I think it was Glenn Keane, Chris Sanders, and Mike Kunkel. And he said, go research them. So I went, I saw what they were doing. I filled up sketchbooks with their work, and then I came back and I showed him my sketchbook. He flipped through it. He said, oh, okay, better, but your anatomy's off. Go look at Vilpu and
Glenn Vilpu?
Yeah, Michelangelo. And,
oh wow!
And only do anatomy. So I went back and I filled up a sketchbook. I brought it back, and he flipped through it again, and that went back and forth for a while until.
How long do you think that took? Of you going back and forth, doing these different things, these different tasks. It's like you're Hercules, and you had all these tasks to complete.
Yeah, but. I mean, I don't know.
Was it like your school? Like, was it a year of schooling? You think that like it was like maybe like a 6-month period, or that it took you just how long did it take you to fill a single sketchbook?
I mean, it wasn't a whole sketchbook. I'm not gonna lie, but it was a good chunk of it.
It was a good
And it was just I mean, off and on, maybe every 2 weeks I would show him the book.
Okay.
I guess.
Okay.
But like, I didn't know I was doing it, but I was establishing a mentorship. My second one came from another teacher there, where she would give the lesson, she would let us go and do our thing, and then she would draw, and I would see her drawings, and again, it was, man, I'm not there yet, and that's how I want to draw animals. And this was a time where we would come in and we would do all our projects on pencil and paper, right? And
the good old days.
Yeah, they did away with that, and they put Cintiqs in there, and now she was kind of lost. She was like, oh, I don't really know this program. And I told her, well, you know what, I do, and I can help you out with class and show you some stuff. And she was like, that's great. So she gave me all her classes that she needed help on, and I kind of became like a TA. So she would give the lessons, and then once she let the students go free, she would teach me how she draws animals and how she goes about underdrawing and how she goes about constructing.
Oh, wow.
that became a mentorship there. You know, there was a.
So what it sounds like is you're like offering your service. You're like, hey, I can help you out with this, and then she's just in return taking you under her wing and giving you. That's dope.
I mean, every mentor is different, you know.
The way you acquire them is different.
It's different, but just finding people that you really admire and doing whatever it takes to get them to show you what they know. Yeah, and that opens so many doors. I mean, so many doors. There was another teacher there who saw, I guess he liked how I would draw. So he asked me, hey, can you help me out with this freelance project? And he said I never considered, I mean, just because he was asking me, I did it. You know, there was no money involved. There was no class credit involved. It was, how much do you want it? Well, I wanted it so much that I'm going to do it for free, you know? And this went on for a long time. Like, I was always helping him out. And I never considered any money. I never wanted any of it because I knew I was getting better and he was teaching me how to go about freelance, you know? And if I never had done that, towards the end, he sat me down at my first internship. And he said, he took me to the place, he sat me down, and his words were, don't fuck this up. And that was stomaching all that. Yeah. And be like, oh shit, let's do it.
That's what's up.
Another mentorship was, I went to Industry Giants. I went to Industry Giants, and I went to this one speech, and this guy dropped so much knowledge in 30 minutes, and whether it was the stuff he was saying or the drawings he was showing. And I went up to him right after and I said, look, this is where I'm at. This is where I want to be.
Okay. I'm
ready to pay you, cut your lawn.
Do whatever I gotta do.
What do I gotta do? But I need you to show me this. And he said, you know, show up to the studio and we'll go from there.
Okay.
And I would show up at night and he would give me a lesson. I would take it home and I would come back the following week and he would critique it. He would do drawovers of it. And this led for a 1 to 2 year long mentorship at Real Effects under the table. And I mean, finding these mentors make your learning curve.
Yeah, it cuts down the learning curve.
Yeah,
because they're giving you all this knowledge that they've acquired.
Not only that, but it opens so many doors too. You know, it teaches you not just the art, but how the industry is and what it takes to, you know, work at these studios that we want to work at
and do it on that level. That's what's up. All right, wow, we're learning a lot about how you're getting this. So this next section is networking. All right, when it comes to networking, Andy says your talent will make people interested in you, but it is your personality that will get you the job. Yeah. Let's expound on that further.
Networking is, you know, getting out of your comfort zone, physically and mentally.
Okay.
You know, I started off, well, I'm very shy, man. I can't hold up a conversation, and networking is.
I mean, you're talking right now, so I don't know if that's a.
I'm working on it, but you know, it's not enough to just give someone your business card. And it's not enough to just show up to these events. It's you'll learn a little thing here and there, but you need to take more advantage of these things. So
participate.
Participate. So I mean, I would go to these events and ask like, hey, do you guys need someone to pick up your trash, or do you guys need someone to collect tickets, or you know, what can I do to be more involved? And in doing that, you learn everyone who's at that event, you know, on a personal level. I mean, that wasn't enough, so like I would also start drawing clubs, and I would invite people that I really admire and be like, hey, we're drawing at this place, so and so, I'll buy you a coffee or whatever, and then just picking their minds.
That's what's up.
Yeah, I mean, an email cannot be your only source of communication. I would knock on doors, I would knock at these studios and be like, look at my work,
Just putting yourself out there and not being shy. So like you're saying, so do put yourself out there. Do get out of your comfort zone, creatively and physically as well. Go to the events, but don't just go to the events. Participate, talk to people.
Yeah.
Create these groups and social gatherings so that you have a local group of people that you can always rely on and talk to, and you're not just by yourself on this lonely world of art doing it by yourself, because you're gonna have to work with people. That's your job. You're gonna have to communicate with art directors, 3D modelers, whoever it is that's gonna take your stuff and make, animators. You don't know who you're gonna have to communicate with, so it's better to get that practice in now at these networking events. Get all that stuff and then take it to your job.
It's really like getting out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
If you're shy, you're not gonna get that far.
Yeah.
If you don't like working in teams, you're probably not gonna make it.
Yeah.
If you don't like, talking to others and hanging out, you're probably not gonna make it.
I think most of my jobs have been like, it's been like me 60% my personality and 40% my skills. So it's almost like 60-40. Like people just they would work with me. I might not be the most skilled on the job, but people will work with me because it's fun to work. And you get to know people, and if they can do the job as well as be a fun person to work around, I'm telling you, you'll probably get the job 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, and it's also your classmates who you need to somewhat network with.
Because those are the people you're going to see in the industry.
Yeah,
those are people you're going to be working next to. I can't tell you how many of my classmates I've run into just at jobs and different contract work and stuff like that.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I would take it one step more than networking. Like I would become lifelong friends with the students around you, because, like you said, that's where most of your work is going to come from. I'm trying to think of yeah.
Well, you pretty much got me the first job at Picture Plane.
No, you showed up for an interview there, and I saw you, right?
Really?
Yeah.
Who took me to the thing with the zombie? No, that was Caleb. I think Caleb. Somebody came. It was during lunch one day at AI, and this was like before I graduated. It was like a couple months before I graduated, and Caleb came to the kitchen or whatever, and he was like, "Yo, Picture Plane needs some zombies for a shoot they're doing." I thought it was you that told me about it, but somebody told me about it. One of my friends told me about it, and we went for the zombie shoot. And I was shooting for a zombie, and I was like, "Yo, what do you guys do here?" They were like, "Yeah, we make video game concept covers and different things like that." And I was like, "Well, I'm graduating pretty soon. I'm gonna send you guys my thing." And I was kind of acting a fool, kind of being funny on set or whatever. And they were like, "Yeah, let's just send us your resume and stuff." And the moment I left school, I sent it, and that was my first like actual position out of school, was just because I wanted to be a zombie that my friend had told me to be one day. And I just started talking to the people on set, trying to figure out who was who, what, who did what. And you just kind of talk to people, and then you figure out, oh, okay, this is where a contact could be. And those guys are still my friends still today. I still talk to Chris, I still talk to Yinka, from time to time. Julio, I still talk to that jackass. So yeah, these are people that when you're friends with them, I think it's much better. Your life is fuller. You're just a much richer person for it. So definitely don't underestimate the power of networking and friendship.
Yeah, of course.
Friendship.
Business cards is not enough.
Yeah, business.
Saying hi to someone and showing them your portfolio is not enough.
Yeah, as fast as you're remembered, you're easily forgotten.
Yeah, you're just one of hundreds doing the same thing.
Yeah, doing the same thing, trying to get their stuff seen.
It's be involved.
Yeah. So let's get to social media. The master of social media is sitting right here.
Not the master.
Yo, this guy, I get like 3 likes every picture I post.
I got really lucky, man.
I get 3 likes. This guy, thousands. I think he has more likes on one picture than I have in my entire. He did a drawing of like what we were gonna be doing here today, and it got like 4,000 and something. Like, that's amazing. And I guarantee people want to know like what you're doing and how you're doing it to get to that level. So that's what we're going to talk about now. We're going to talk about social media, why it's important, and what Andy thinks about it, how he approached it, pitfalls, ups, downs, lefts, rights, in betweens. Let's do it. All right. So your social media matters. Why does it matter, Andy?
Because it's helping not only your career, but it's also helping your artistic growth. Okay. I mean, one of my mentors told me, "Do you have a social presence?" And I was like, "No, I don't want one. I already have a job, and I just want to learn." You know. And every time I went to his class, he was like, "Have you started your social presence?" And I was like, "I don't want one." And this went on for a year, dude.
Oh wow!
And
so you didn't have Instagram for years. So while everybody else was posting thirst traps on the gram, you were out here living your best life.
Yeah, I was content with what I had and where it was at.
Okay.
And it wasn't until I saw a coworker, and he started his Instagram, and I saw all the likes he was getting.
Oh, okay.
And I saw all the opportunity he was giving. I was like, damn.
I could have been my opportunities.
I need to do that.
That's what's up.
Yeah. So that's. I mean, social media, it also helps open up so many doors. You know, like I said, I had a purpose when starting it, but I never knew that people were gonna start contacting me. Hey, do you want to be on this, or do you want to do that, or can you help out? So you know, putting your art out there is also getting out of your comfort zone, and it's also learning the platform. So with Instagram, it was being very, very persistent. It was I posted every day for a whole year.
Oh wow!
You know, and I mean, there were some days here and there I didn't post, but it was pretty much every day.
Every day for an entire year.
And then people would write to me and ask me questions, and I wrote back to every single one.
Oh wow!
And then
your engagement is gotta be crazy.
Yeah, and also the hashtags and whatever you're writing under your picture. I don't know what that's called. The caption.
The captions.
That has to make sense with what you're drawing, and then the hashtags are very important. You got to blow that up, right?
Okay.
And then not only that, but I went out to other artists who were doing it, and I would ask them for advice or critiques, and you know, I was involved within that little Instagram community, asking questions. Or
so you were always talking to other people. You weren't just in your own little social space. You were just you were reaching out and doing different things.
Yeah, I saw it as like a give and take. You know, like people were liking my art.
So
so I'm gonna go check you out.
It's funny because like me and JJ literally had this conversation. We'll be going through our Instagrams or something. We're about to like a picture. No matter what picture we like, Andy's already liked this picture. You've already. Well, I'm like, yo, how does Andy like? Andy's everywhere. Like you've already liked it. I'm like, damn, bro. Like this guy works hard. Like hard.
I mean, well, if I get a like on my drawing. You know, people took the time to do that.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm going to go to their page. Oh, especially if they wrote a comment. I'm going to go check out their page.
Damn.
I'm going to like some of their art. I'm going to write them, hey, I appreciate you taking the time, and it means a lot.
That's commitment.
Yeah, it's extreme commitment. But, you know, if you have that, I guess.
If you want to get to the next level, you got to do what you got to do.
I mean, it's having that purpose too when creating it. Like I told myself, this is strictly business.
Mm-hmm.
There's no this is an art page. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna follow only artists. I only want to see art on my feed, and I think that's how I kind of like perceive that's how people are too. Like, so I don't post anything personal.
Yeah, and I've heard that people they don't want to go to your page and see all these crazy different things. They want people know what. If they want to see cars, they're gonna go to a car page.
Yeah.
If they want to see helicopters, if they want to see 3D, they're gonna go to 3D. If they, people are very compartmentalized, and you're right about that. So when you made your page streamlined like that, you're giving them what they want, and they're gonna know to come back to you for what they want, which is if it's that illustration stuff, that's what they're gonna. Yeah. You're the, you know what I'm saying?
Another source. I mean, for me, Instagram is also it's inspiration. Mm-hmm. So before I do a drawing, I get hyped up by going through. But and if I see a baby or someone's whatever dinner they're eating, it kind of like throws me off. So I go to their page and I unfollow them.
Oh wow!
And I think that's how they are with me too. You know, so I keep it strict. Where don't be posting food or don't be posting anything that's not related to
what you're
the
doing.
Purpose is on your social media.
That's knowledge. That's game right there. Game. He's giving you guys game right now.
So learn the platform, put yourself out there, and be involved. I guess. Yeah.
Okay. So how many different social media presences do you have at the moment? So which ones are you currently using for your personal lifestyle?
I mean, I started on all of them at the same time. I started on Facebook, Pinterest, Tumblr, Instagram, but the only one I was getting traction on was Instagram, so I stopped all the other ones.
You stopped all the other ones and focused. Yeah. So do you think you should ever go back to any of these once you've established one to try to get like a market hold on another one, just so that you don't exhaust that Instagram, or like if for some reason Instagram goes down and you can't use your Instagram anymore, you've built up following somewhere else that your people can go to get your stuff. Have you ever thought about anything like that? Or
I mean, no, that's a good idea, but that's a lot of work.
Yes, this is a guy with 3 likes here. You know what I'm saying? I'm just throwing out ideas that
I mean, I know Instagram is where it's at for sure.
Yeah,
and artists go there to. I mean, I think Instagram is like
the number one.
And if I see it,
it's like a gallery.
Yeah, I mean, if something else new pops up, or if I see it switching to Pinterest, you got to be aware of that as well, I guess. But yeah, I mean, I've only been on Instagram 3 years, going on 4 years, and I'm pretty much burnt out. I kind of got what I wanted from it, I guess. I would set a goal for 100 followers, and then I would set another goal for 1,000 followers. My goal was to beat my colleagues. My last goal was 100K. And then once I did that, it was just kind of like I was burned out. Like I couldn't keep up. Because if I followed someone, I would make sure to follow them. I would make sure that everything they posted I would like. Or, I can't. I'm burnt out, but it did what it needed to do. I guess.
So your experiment worked, and I think that was going to be my grand question was, so did you get the results from what you wanted, like from what how you said you were going to set a purpose for everything? So did you get those results out of the purpose that you were setting for yourself?
Way more than I expected.
That's dope. That's dope. That's good to hear, man. That's good to hear. Okay, interesting. So let's move on to quotes of the day. I'm going to check on the see if we're still rolling here. And we are, but the battery's almost gone. So yeah, we're good.
You can just end it there if you want.
No, we're going to do the quotes finish. We're going to finish with the quotes. Everything. Yeah, man, there's some dope podcasts out there. All right. We're going to do quote of the day. All right, today's quotes are brought to you by several different people. Let's dive in. I'll let you, the first one's mine. So I'll say the first one. The first one is, if a tree falls in the forest and there is no one there to hear it, does it make a sound? The reason I kind of said this quote was because we were talking about how people don't like to show their artwork and they like to keep it to themselves. And it's, if nobody sees it, nobody critiques it, then you're not getting any feedback. You're not getting better. So to get better, you got to throw yourself out there and put yourselves on, hey, this is my work, good, bad, ugly, and be ready to accept that critique. And that's my first quote. I don't even know who says that quote, but
everyone.
I think everyone. Yeah,
but it relates
that's
to
like I just put everyone.
Everyone.
Yeah. All right. So the next one's yours.
Okay, mine is, art is mimicking life over and over to the point it becomes real.
That's dope.
Now, that has a lot to do with just creating with purpose, I guess. Art is just catering to the public, and the one thing the public might not know art, but they know what feelings are, and they know what life is about. They've gone through it. So when you show that to them, they're gonna know if it's sincere. So if you see someone dancing, you're gonna know if she's feeling sad, or if she's hyped up, or if she's pissed off. If you see someone singing on a guitar, you're gonna know if that song is sincere, or if he really meant it or not. You can't fake it. Same with a drawing. It can't just be a character posed out looking pretty. It needs to have more meaning in that. It needs to have life in it.
Damn, that's deep.
Yeah, Glenn King says, draw what the character is thinking, not doing. And that just kind of like, oh shit, that's what a drawing needs to be.
Draw what the character's thinking, not doing.
Yeah, so if just mimic it, mimic it over and over to the point where people believe it.
That's dope.
Yeah.
And that brings us to our next quote, which is, learn the rules like a pro so you can break them like an artist.
Nice.
That's a Pablo Picasso one. So yeah, it's, you got to know the rules before you break them. You got to know the principles before you can start to bend the principles to your artistic eye. Because if you don't have that foundation, then you're just breaking things that you're breaking it without even knowing the purpose of what you're breaking. So yeah, that's kind of self-explanatory.
That's pretty cool though. I was drawing all these stylized characters, and my mentor at the time told me, I know what you're trying to do here, but you still have to be true to the anatomy. So he told me, you have to know the anatomy perfectly before you start
exaggerating.
Before you start exaggerating, because it still needs to, be believable.
Believable, yeah.
So that's a pretty cool quote.
Yeah. Next one's yours.
It is? It's better to start at the bottom of the ladder you want than to be halfway up a ladder you don't. I've kind of thought that, my whole career at the Art Institute, where you go to a school where the whole time you're like, am I making the biggest mistake of my life?
Yeah.
Because everywhere I go, people are reminding me, like, you're going to art school? And I'm like, yeah. Oh, and what are you going to do after that? And you're like, shit, I don't know. And it was just so much negativity over and over.
I think
but at the same time,
it comes with the territory, I guess.
But I still had, that hunger. I was like, yeah, I'm hearing all this stuff, but it's pretty much all I, ever done. And I've gotten, somewhat good feedback to where I want to pursue it. And I know if I go do something else, I'm always going to have that dream, I guess.
They're like, man, what could have been?
Yeah, what could have been. So...
man, you got to give yourself a chance. You know, you got to take a chance on yourself.
Yeah, if you want something, whether it's as ridiculous of going to an art school like I did, it's worth it if you have purpose behind it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you know that's what you want to do and you want to, like, if you're going to pursue it to 110%.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Which leads us to our last quote, which is perfect because it says, "The only man who never makes mistakes is a man who never does anything." That is a quote from Theodore Roosevelt. And on that note, I want to thank you for watching and listening to another episode of The Art of Struggle. My name is Fatai. This is Andy. I want to thank you, man, for coming through.
Of course.
Appreciate it. This has been awesome, man. Like, this is crazy. I wanted to do this for so long, where he just goes through a bunch of this stuff, and hopefully I can have you co-host much more often. Maybe
Whenever.
Yeah, you know, like maybe every Wednesday if you have time, you know, we come through, give us some little more knowledge, and,
cool.
and I think this would be awesome. This would be something I would want to continue doing. This is really dope. So yeah, on that note, I'm gonna say bye to Andy, and we're just gonna follow him out. All right, man. Later, guys.
You know what we did forget?
What?
To answer questions on Instagram.
Oh, snap. All right. Well, we're gonna do that next. Cut this, man.
That has to be before the quotes, huh?
Yeah. No, not necessarily. We'll just do Q&A. Okay. All right, everybody. So we thought we were done, but we're not done quite yet. What we've got next is questions from you guys that Andy is going to answer. So let's hit it up.
You want to read them?
Yeah. You got it right here. So which one are we asking? Asking first.
Let's do that Neo Squirrel.
So this first question comes from Neo Squirrel. He asks, what about social media platforms putting artists that have tens, hundreds, or even millions of followers already promoted or suggested first ahead of others who are in need of followers to get their audience established? It's difficult to find sales or clients when marketing departments go looking and simply look at the top suggestions.
Damn.
That's like a very loaded question. It's got three different parts. Yeah. So you're gonna have to. I think the first part is so what about social media platforms, and how what do you feel about them putting artists who have tens millions of followers already promoted before people who don't have as many followers? So
does that even happen?
Yes, I mean, who do you get suggested? Do you get suggested new people who have like 30 followers, or do you get suggested people who have?
Okay.
So like, those are the people who are getting sponsorships. Those are the people who are getting like the looks and stuff. And he's saying, hey, how come people who are trying to get their stuff aren't as looked at? Because right now, yours would probably be looked at more before somebody who has much less followers would be. And you would probably get suggested if you like something similar than somebody else would be. So how would you handle that, or how, what would you suggest for that? Because he's saying he's finding it difficult to find sales and clients because of how people are.
Yeah. Okay, so let's say I was starting Instagram today.
Okay.
Where I have no followers.
None.
And I have no one liking my stuff.
Yeah.
And there's already people out there who are having it. Again, I would look at what they're doing. And do the complete opposite.
Yeah.
Like I went to like I said, Jake Parker's and all those great people's pages, and I would look at their art, and then I would go down to the hashtaggings, and I would read every hashtag he put, and then and I would do that for every artist. And what that hashtagging does is it sends your picture to that page. You get me? So if I say hashtag fitness, people who are looking at fitness, they're gonna get a drawing up there, So if you're out there looking for I guess work like this guy is, I would be hashtagging those businesses or that audience.
So, and you don't want to look for markets that are too saturated either.
Yeah.
So, like, you don't want one that has like 1 billion follows or 1 billion things, because you're going to get drowned out in the sea of stuff. You want to have stuff with like a decent amount of following that people will probably scroll through and be able to see yours in like the top.
It's also talent too, Are you doing the same thing that someone who has 100,000 followers is also doing the same thing?
And is yours better than that?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's how can you gotta have your own niche, I guess.
You gotta find your own sound. You gotta find your own style, your own thing that people can come to you for, and you can give them that sort of, that look, that feel that they're wanting. Okay.
And then, I mean, if you're also looking for work and it's only on Instagram, it's going to be extremely tough. I would also put it on every other platform, and it's also about knocking on doors.
Yeah. Because I feel like a lot of the things you talked about earlier would
kind of relate, right?
Would kind of apply, which is like, you just being about that grind and being able to, what you can stomach versus your hunger. Like, okay, this is happening, but how much hunger do you have to get through that, and make your stuff pop more and get better and get to the next level, because maybe there's a skill gap there, like you said, and so yeah, that's a great question. It's a great question that just all right. So what's another question we got?
No, right there.
A question occurred to me just now. Says quiet Yell Sketches. Okay. Interesting name. Quiet Yell Sketches says, a question occurred to me just now. If there is time to address this, it would be good to hear how you manage work, personal projects, and artistic growth, family relationships, and other interests, obligations, example, rest, reading, worship, serving others. Time management can be difficult. I know as a father, both of us wrestle with more demands on our time and perhaps general tiredness. I'm sure others wrestle with similar, as well as pursue our art. Okay, so the question is, how are you handling how are you handling your life? How are you handling the addition of the baby? How is that? I think that was like the first thing I asked you, right? Like,
wait, and on the other podcast?
On the intro, yeah. Like,
yeah.
It's like, how are you doing now?
Yeah, that's. I'm kind of trying, like, how do I do it? But I mean, I go through the struggles just like anyone else. So you're a vampire?
You're just like, you just don't sleep? You're just he's like this. Oh, Andy's ready now.
Let's see.
He's actually an android that doesn't sleep, programmed by Monsanto to, I don't know.
I mean, I also don't do that much, I mean, I'm so lucky that...
You feel like you don't do that much?
I mean, I'm so lucky that my career is also my hobby. So
it's already what you're doing constantly?
Yeah, but I mean, I do get where he's going, because I mean, I juggle family, friends, work, personal stuff,
yeah.
But I also know at what point of the day do I get to do those things, and it's making other people clear that as well, not just yourself. And I mean, what I mean by
so you have a schedule kind of that you go by.
Yeah, but I don't just know the schedule. I make it aware to everyone else.
This is my schedule.
When I started Instagram, I got so much shit from my wife. I mean, my girlfriend then, of put the phone down and and then so
there's always growing pains, right? Yeah, there's always growing pains.
I mean,
it's not an easy, like, there's no smooth,
no, I mean, I would get like, hey, put the phone down, or we're eating, or hey, it's my time, and then
I think I get that too.
And then there's also like, hey, come out, we're over here at this bar, and it's like, okay. And then I also get, it's your turn to take care of the baby,
or it's your turn to take out the trash or do the dishes.
So,
I think you.
So it's telling them, like, look, I'm not just here, bullshitting and scrolling through my feed until my phone dies. I'm doing this for A, B, and C, and it's making them aware that this is the goal you're doing, and these are the steps that you need to do to take it.
Get there.
So look, I'm gonna help you at this time of the day. I'm gonna do what I need to do at this time of the day. But I know that at 10 o'clock, I'm gonna be at my desk drawing. You get me?
Yeah.
And I mean, there's also stuff that I wish I can do, like work out or
I think
or take a trip.
Everybody has different regimens. Yeah,
but there's just some things that that I need to give up.
Yeah,
that you need to give up.
Yeah, there's gonna be some give and take when you have a kid, like for sure, because you're gonna have to deal with taking kids to school, diapers, getting them to where they need to do because they gotta eat, do all their things they gotta do. You got a wife who's got needs. You got family. You've got friends who probably they want you to hang out. And have you worked out yet? Are you in shape? Or, there's a lot of things that you have to kind of compartmentalize. And I think, I have a schedule myself that I wake up at like 5:30 in the morning, run, do my thing. Then in the morning I do my podcast, and then I go about my day. Then I still have a list of things that I have to accomplish, and I try to accomplish as much as I can throughout the day. So for me, it's my scheduling and knowing what times and what chunks. Yeah. And sometimes I'll even overwork myself, and Amber will have to come home and be like, "Hey, you've been on the computer literally all day. You've been looking at this monitor. Yeah. Get off for
Yeah.
But for me, I'm like, if I just do one more hour, that's one less hour that I have to work tomorrow. Or, and that's how I'm thinking. Where I need to just put in more hours, and I'm trying to put,
I mean, so I guess what I would say to this guy is to just take it day by day.
Day by day.
So write down everything that you would want to do in that one day, and then figuring out.
Yeah, I even have like a board here of like some of the things that I need to accomplish throughout the day.
Yeah, and it really is just sacrificing the TV time. Or the Game Boy time.
I eat from here. If I'm gonna play games, I play games from here while I'm working. If I'm gonna watch TV, I watch games from my desk where I'm working. So yeah, it's knowing where you have time and using that time. That little time that you could be using you could get some work done. And that's how I always feel. Because even when Amber calls me, she'll be like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm watching TV." She's like, "You're just sitting there watching TV." And I'm like, she's like, "You never just sit there and just do one thing.
Yeah.
You're probably working and watching TV. You're probably doing this and So I'm kind of multitasking as well.
For sure.
So yeah, you've got to find that balance, and it's important to get that balance, because if you don't, you're gonna overwork yourself, and you're gonna stretch yourself too thin, and you're not gonna like that.
Yeah, but, I mean, whatever it is you want, if you really want it, not only will you find the time to do it, but I mean, you'll get it done. I mean, sometimes I'm drawing while I'm holding my daughter, or sometimes.
Multitasking, that's that multitask. Yeah, man, you gotta do that. So are those the questions? I think there's one more, but I don't know if you already answered this. Do you make these sketches digitally or traditionally?
Oh, it's both.
Okay.
It's just that on Photoshop I have a brush that looks like a pencil.
Oh.
And
this is digital?
Yeah.
What?
No,
seriously, I did not. I thought that was a pencil.
Really?
Yeah, that shit looks like a pencil. It looks sketchy enough, and it looks like graphite almost, because it's got pores and stuff like that. And you know how graphite does its thing, and it makes it look very porous, like it's a pencil.
Well,
and then you've got the darker. Yeah, that's dope.
Well, I mean, I do use the pencil and paper, but when I use the Cintiq, it has pressure sensitivity, so I start off with a really, really light, rough sketch, and then once the idea is down, I go back and darken it up, and then it helps too that the brush I use, the brush has that pencil texture. So I guess it does look like.
Yeah, it's that very pencil texture. It's a graphite. Well, I think that's all the questions. Once again, I want to thank you for coming on The Art of Struggle. Sorry we almost forgot that segment. But yeah, the questions, I mean, if you guys have any more questions, definitely send them my way. Or send it to Andy, and he will definitely be glad to answer those questions. Alright, well, on that note, this is Ty on The Art of Struggle. See you. Signing out. Stop this.
Alright, dude, it was cool. You mind if I get a cookie?
Yeah, man, definitely grab a cookie, bro.
Appreciate it.
All right, man. Appreciate you stopping by, man.
I appreciate you.
Man,
We'll do this again.
Yo, appreciate you, bro.
Cool, dude. Later, man.
God.